He looks like the younger version of Archmage Antonidas, so of course I was going to select League of Order.
You require my assistance?
If you're not sure about which faction to start with in Call of Dragons, this video is for you. Let's go. As you guys can see, unlike Rise of Kingdoms, we only have 3 choices because factions are basically civilizations. Let's start with Spring Wardens. They're basically elves. When you are choosing your starting faction, there are a few key things that you should pay attention. Number 1 is your starting hero. Number 2, special units. And number 3, faction bonuses. Let's start with our starting hero because while you are playing Call of Dragons, you will get extra tokens to upgrade the skill level of this hero from various events. So even if you change your faction later on, you will still keep getting extra tokens for the commander that you select at the start of the game. Talents of Gwenveen are actually pretty decent. Marksman, Peacekeeping, and Precision. Peacekeeping is a talent that's going to help you a lot against the environment, aka PvE. Marksman is super nice because in Call of Dragons, we will get to that in another video, but if you are free-to-play / low spender, I think range combat is more suited for you, such as Marksman, aka Archers, magic units rather than cavalry or infantry. So the talent option of Gwenveen are decent. If you select League of Order, your starting hero is Voldir. He has magic, PvP, and skills. All 3 are, in my opinion, extremely useful. Yes, you won't do much PvP at the start of the game, but since we will keep getting more tokens, aka sculptures for Voldir, until we start fighting our first battles, we want to maximize Voldir because his every single talent works in PvE, which is super important. And Bakar has infantry, garrison, and skills. Infantry and skill is pretty good, but for majority of players, you shouldn't be leading garrisons. This is specifically for high spenders. And if you're a high spender, if you are leading garrisons, you probably won't be doing this with Bakar. Special units. Now, the thing about special unit, this is a big difference between Call of Dragons and Rise of Kingdoms. Special units from different factions do actually have different abilities. Just to show you that, for example, if we look at Werk Elk, they have a faster march speed when moving towards a resource point. If we check League of Order, Workhorses, they have a higher load capacity when gathering, and Wilderberg, aka Orcs, their special siege unit, Work Rhinos, they will gain extra resources when they exhaust a resource point. So every unit from each faction actually have different abilities. It's not just like infantry, cavalry, archers, and if you have a special unit, you just get extra stats. It's not like that. They actually have different abilities. And by the way, just a quick extra information, if you are planning to make farm accounts, I think this one is the best. Gain extra resources when you deplete a resource tile is, I think, the best option if you look at all 3 possible siege units. March speed is nah. Load capacity is probably the second best, but hands down for sure, Work Rhinos, extra resources is the best one. We will only look at the main units from each faction. For Spring Wardens, we have Marksmen, Archers, and they can increase their physical attack, which is quite important. League of Order, they are able to increase the HP of friendly legions. And Wilderberg, Axemen, your infantry, increases their physical defense. So on paper, Wilderberg is more defensive, League of Order is supportive, and Spring Wardens looks like they deal more damage. We could also briefly look at flying units because this is something that we definitely don't have in Rise of Kingdoms. Yes, in Call of Dragons there are flying units, greatly increasing their physical attack for a brief period. Let's take a look at this one. Celestials increases the magic attack, and look at the bonus of Wyvern Riders, HP and skill damage dealt increase. So yeah, every single troop type has different bonuses and different abilities. The next thing we should look at is faction bonuses. This one gives us Legion March speed and healing speed. Honestly, if you played any similar games before, such as Rise of Kingdoms, you won't actually need healing speed at the very start of the game. So I wouldn't say this is a useful faction bonus. Legion March speed, Legion means your all troops, so it doesn't matter if it's archers, infantry, or if it's cavalry. Every single troop type will get extra 5% March speed, which is decent. League of Order, Legion magic defense 3%. Again, for every single troop type, you are getting 3% magic defense. And overall gathering speed. For every single resource type, you will get 10% gathering speed. Now, Legion magic defense is decent, but the main thing here, as you can guess, is gathering speed, because gathering resources at the start of the game is kind of huge. So I think this faction bonus is the better one so far. Wilderberg, 3% physical attack for every troop type, and destruction engineering 10%. Now, if you're a free-to-play / low spender, you don't care about destruction, right? This is for high spenders. If you're a high spender, of course, being able to destroy enemy buildings 10% faster is going to help you a lot, but for majority of players, I think this is irrelevant. In these circumstances, League of Order looks like the best one, but just in case, we will also look at the skills of each starting hero. Starting with Gwenvin, her active skill deals skill damage to an enemy legion 3 times in a quick succession. Skill damage goes up to 200, and final damage, the third one, goes up to 400. So in total, you can deal 800 damage. Second one is the peacekeeping one. Third one is extra attack and march speed. Fourth one is really good when you are over 50%, which is something that you always want. You deal extra 10% damage, and her additional skill has 50% chance to poison the target, dealing 100 hero skill damage. In total, it is 300. Definitely not looking bad. Bakar's active skill, in my opinion, is very strong. Skill damage to an enemy, and his legion gains rampage, which increases all damage by 20%. Second skill is roll stats, 10% attack and 10% defense. The third one is his defensive skill, because when he gets attacked, he has a 10% chance to inflict gloom, which reduces target's attack by up to 25% for 4 seconds. And fourth one, this is the unfortunate one, because since he has garrison talents, obviously he will have a garrison skill, and this is useless on the field. That's why I said for free-to-play low spenders, Bakar is not the best choice, because you don't really care about defending your city or strongholds. Not a huge fan of his additional skill, because it requires for you to be less than 50% units remaining, which is something that I don't like. Last but not least, you can see which faction I selected, because this is the only commander that we have. Voldir, range very far. It deals skill damage to the enemy and 2 additional nearby legions, so it's like an AoE. It inflicts gloom, reducing their attacks. Just like Bakar, it is roll stats, extra 10% magic attack, and 10% HP. The third one is like roll skill damage, extra 15%. Voldir is definitely giving me Sun Tzu vibes from Rise of Kingdoms. Icy Veins is his defensive skill, which gives him shield, and his expertise is enhancement skill. Now, instead of 1 target and 2 nearby legions, you deal damage to again 1 target but 3 nearby legions. So you deal damage to 1 more enemy. Magic damage factor goes from 600 to 7. And now, instead of just applying gloom, you also apply freeze, which on top of reducing their attack, you now reduce their march speed for 20%. For 3 seconds, which is, in my opinion, super strong. And as you can see, the thing about Voldir is every single skill of his is going to be super useful in the open field. And my faction recommendation for you guys is to go with League of Orders. Get that Voldir, get extra tokens throughout your gameplay, and just enjoy the range combat, because being in a safe distance as a free-to-play / low spender is quite important. And I really don't want to play cavalry or infantry in Call of Dragons, because I want something refreshing. I want something different than Rise of Kingdoms, and mages are definitely fall into that category. Plus, he looks like the younger version of Archmage Antonidas, so of course I was going to select League of Order.
You require my assistance?